and welcome. Today we're finally going to open up the Mandalorian Razor Crest. So this is set number 75292. It's a 10+ set, but as always what we're going to do, we're going to rip open the box, have a look at the box artwork, instruction manual, obviously then towards the end, compare the minifigures from this set to a few of the others, and again we'll compare the ship to a few of the bigger Marvel ships and some of the Star Wars ships as well. So we'll take a look at what's in the box first. Now, I think if I remember, there's going to be quite a bit in there, so that's already come flying out. What do we have in here? Lots of bags, big booklet, big sticker sheet, but we'll go through the box artwork first. So this is Lego Star Wars set number 75292. It's taken from the Mandalorian and obviously is the very famous Razor Crest for one reason or another. The minifigures that come with this are also fantastic. So it's the first time you got the child, you get the Mandalorian in his original armor, you then get Apollo Creed himself, IG-11, and then you get a Scout Trooper. So the box artwork on the front looks very, very effective. If it was on the shelf at the top, you've got a one-to-one of the Mando himself. Side on, that is obviously the flap that I've cut open. That there is all you'd see on the side, but you do have the SKU code on the side. And again, on the other side, there is nothing much to report. Now, so moving on to the back of the box, the Lego Star Wars, the Luke Skywalker Saga, you can find the secret ship. You can unlock it and you can play with the Razor Crest on the game. Now, the game, as of today, has just dropped into a massive, massive sale as well. So if you have got that game, obviously, then let us know in the comments below. But as you can see, across the back, this is what it is doing. You've got some shooting bits and pieces. You've then got some other places where you can store some weapons. And then as we pan around and come back down, there's a lot of detail with regards to the inside of this. Obviously, this is not the UCS version, but all the sides still open. You've got plenty of room to take photo of all the minifigures. Obviously, you've got the little one just on the inside. And then you have got, coming round and down, you've got some sleeping quarters. And then you've got some other little bits and pieces where it opens up at the top. And then you've got the bit where it opens up as well. So we will be taking a good look at all of that later on. That is a big bit that obviously goes on the front of the ship. So I hope I haven't just scratched that and I've ripped that out. Now, moving on to the bit that I know all of you guys are going to like, which would be the sticker sheet and the instruction booklet. How easy will this be to rip open? So again, like I said, this is brand new to me. So this is in, as you can see, it's a slightly older set. So they've gone back, well, they've changed obviously from this style of opening them up to the paper. So they've got rid of this as the plastic. Now, stickers. Well, how many do we have on here? Let's get you into a place. I've got some room, so get the sticker sheet round. So we have got, by the looks of it, 2 1s, then there is 1 2, 1 3, and then moving over there is a separate 4 5 6 7. That is number 8, number 9, 10, 11, and then the bottom 2 are 12 and 13, which is obviously, if you have seen the first series and the first episode where he decides to store some of the other people, that is a little bit of an Easter egg to it as well. So, right, on the inside we've just got the normal QR code. As we spin around, there is nothing on the inside, so it does give you all the bag orders though. So you've got bag number 1, you do look like you get 2 minifigures in bag number 1, you get the child in bag number 2, you get IG-11 in bag number 3, get nothing in 4, you get Apollo Creed in bag number 5, and then number 6 is where it is all completed. So bag number 6 is just the engines up at the top. And again, you can see how all the Mandalorians have changed. So if you have been watching the different seasons and series, this is before he got any of his upgraded armor at all, and which is known as Beskar. So that's all the shiny stuff that they end up upgrading in as they go through. Now, as we come around on to the other side, where does this finish? You can see there's lots and lots of different bits and pieces. So each red box that they put in on certain instruction manuals, how it changes, it shows you and tells you each individual thing that you can do. So I've skipped too far, so I will go back to all of the sets. But you can see you've got all the shooting aspects, you've got all the other little bits and pieces and when you can load them. And we're still coming to the very, very, very last building page is step number 406, page through 237. But it did look like, before or after all of the spare pieces, it had all of the sets. Now, there is a lot of sets to quickly run through and have a look at. It is only on these 2 pages, so if I remember rightly, they will just be the figures from. So let's have a quick look. So on the bottom right, we have got set number 75284, moving on to the 8080, which is 75288, and then this I've already unboxed and got a video out for 75291, which is the diorama throne. And then moving up, you've got a couple of other ships, which is 75281 and then 75283. Again, 75280 and 75293. So you've got all of the silver and blue, which look like they're all to do with each other. And then up at the top here, you've got 75286. Then you've got our ship that we're opening up now, which again is 75292. So that is all of that page done. So if you need to go back and have a quick look and pause and backtrack any of those sets, obviously then do so. And then these are kind of clumped together because you have got 75271 and then 75268 and then 75270 with the cool little minifigures that do come with this one. And then you've got two little micros up at the bottom on this one. So it's 75264 and 75263. In fact, there's a couple of micros. And another one here is 75265 and then 75266, which is a battle pack. And then moving up to 75269, you have got the, I guess it's a main event fight. The Mandalorian Battle Pack, which again have just opened, and there's a unboxing video comparing this to the Snowtrooper Battle Pack as well, and these minifigures will go really well with this Mandalorian as well, so I'm happy about that. And then the orange X-Wing is 75273. So there's plenty of videos available in the unboxing playlist. Now, going over, these are just all of the minifigures that do come with all of the different sets, and then this is talking about the game. Moving on to the ship, what a thing it is as well. So there's some good collection of minifigures, which we'll take a look at after. Now there's a lot going on with this, so there's lots of different bits and pieces that open up, just like we've seen in the actual instruction manual. So if I just pan up and around so you can just see what this ship looks like. The stickers aren't too painful to put on. It is what it is with those. Obviously there's no prints on the outside, so all of these bits on the engine, they are obviously all stickers as well. I have seen one or two people like Saturday have mocked their engine bit up on the front and the back, which looks very effective. But as a thing, I think it looks really nice, and it's going to display nicely with where I want to put it. So obviously I'm only getting the sets currently where I need to do bits and pieces with them, so I am a little bit biased with how I speak about it. But if I think it's rubbish, and obviously I will tell you at the same time. But this, it's got a couple of different flaps that open up. So you've got the gun bit on the side that then opens up into here, where you can load up different bits and pieces, like the spare weapons, for example. You can load loads of those little bits and pieces up with the long red bits that will go in there. Obviously I've not done it, like I said, because of the cats. And then on this side you have another bit on the side here where you can then just put the minifigures in, and you have got a third bit there, so the whole side will open up, which is always a nice looking thing. And then as we spin around, you can see that the back will then open all the way down, and then the flaps on the opposite side will also open up, so you can get some really nice lighting all the way through. So there's a lot of different angles that you can get from this, so depending on what it is you want to do, you can see you can get some probably really nice photos, obviously depending on what panels you are going to open up, because I would imagine it would just be the back that you would have open and keep this shut, or vice versa. And then again from the other side, the bit at the front, that will obviously also open up. Now if I just rip all of this off, just so you can see a little bit easier on the inside. So this bit here, you can obviously fit your minifigures in, and then you have got a teeny tiny walkway that will go through, and then on to the back just here, you can see you've got a little bit of photo opportunity. It is a little bit tight, but that is because this middle piece will also pop up, which I will need two hands for. So how much light, if I keep you down there, how much light will that give? There you go, so you can see the difference, the shadow it casts as it comes off, and then that then allows you to do some bits and pieces up at the top and get some aerial photo shots as well, which is always a really nice thing. So for playability and sort of photography use, it's a sort of a double whammy for both. And the nice thing is, obviously, if you've not yet seen Mandalorian Season 1, you might want to shut your eyes, because things do happen and you can recreate it, and you can easily just pull both engines off. They're both on the pins just on the sides. You've got the bits and pieces in the back, then obviously you've got the bits and pieces on the front. I say Season 1, Season 2, I think it is. It is Season 2, yep. So Season 2 is where things go slightly wrong, and then obviously you then need to watch the Book of Boba Fett for the N1 Starfighter. But you've got both of those come off, but if I was to pull it, the whole thing holds. So even though that's how strong those Technic pins are, so if you are going to dangle it off the ceiling, well, this is one of the only ships really for a while I've thought, yeah, you're not going to have to worry about it too much for pieces falling off with regards just to dangling different bits and pieces off the side. But that is the ship done, and then what we'll do, we'll move on to the minifigures. So the minifigures are back out and about, and Rocky is there. You can see his Paul wants to have a look at what's going on. So we'll start with the child. Now this is a really cool looking minifigure, teeny tiny as you can see, but that is what it is named in the first series. So if I bring it all the way down and bring this forwards, my fingers are out the way, that is how small that thing is, as long as it focuses up. So it's nice little print on the front, and then you've got no print on the back, but it does sit nicely within the set, so you can also just place it wherever it is you want to place it. So you can put it up onto the ship if you want to. Don't eat it, Rocky. And then it will just sit on there, so that's all nice and simple. And then moving on to the next one, so we'll go to the Mando himself. Now the Mandalorian, like I said at the start of the video, he doesn't have any of his special armor or anything on. He just has his plain basic outfit that you meet him in. Now he does come with a cape. Now this is in here, so I thought actually this time I'd show you how it's different with this, because some of them have the double holes on the side and some of them just have the single hole there where you put it on, but this is where you've got to then wrap it round and then put it on and round his neck. But I thought if I keep that off to show you what that looks like, you can then see what is going on the back. So plenty of detail on the back. You can see you've got all of this sort of extra armor and everything on his belt, and then you've got the bits and pieces that go across, and then you can see on the back here that the armor plate is where it's all a little bit rusty and nothing fancy. And then over to this side, as you can see, somebody wants a sniff. On the front here, you've got the buckle, and then you've got all the nice patterns and everything on the front of the legs. Now, with it being the original Mandalorian, it's slightly different to one of the other Mandalorians that we've seen, he does just have no facial print whatsoever, because he's not supposed to take his helmet off, nor have you seen his face at this point of the actual TV show. So that's a really nice touch. I think it's a really nice looking minifigure, this one. It's got some nice details on. Now, moving on to the next one. If you're wondering why the camera keeps moving, because somebody is about to jump on my lap, and I will just carry on. So now he's out the way. So we have got this happy chappy. He's a cool looking minifigure. Really nice torso print again on the front. He's got nice coloured sleeves on the side. He's also got the brown gloves, and then he's got all the bits and pieces going on at the back. And also, he has a dual face on this one. So this is the first one that we picked up, because a child obviously doesn't. Mandalorian doesn't have any facial prints whatsoever. And you've got his I'm grumpy looking face, and then spin it round, you've got his sort of cheeky chappy looking face as well. With regards to the legs, just red, no print on the back, but it does have some nice detail on the front, I think. And again, when you add the headpiece on, I think you're good to go with regards to that one. So I think it's a good looking minifigure. Now again, IG-11, almost the hero of the scenes, really. Cool looking thing. You've got two massive weapons on the back, and then again on the front. And then, yes, it is that one. And then you can see you've got, it's not a sticker on this minifigure, it is a print. So it is a good looking thing. You can see just on the side here with the guns, and this is what I've got to put up with as you've been attacked. On the back, nothing. So it's just one of those, you can't turn it into IG-12, so you would have to manipulate and do that, something slightly different. But again, that is a cool looking thing. And then you have this one. So this one is just basic, like most of them are. Black print on this one with the black legs, black stomach, and then you've got the black head. And this one does come with just a single face, and then you have got the print and everything that is on the back. It's a nice looking minifigure. You can see just on the back here that you have got some little bits and pieces going on. Poor Apollo Creed is getting absolutely devoured. Where are you going? Right, he's gone. That's it. Apollo Creed's gone. That's never to be found again. He's just been stolen. So again, with this one on the front, you've got some nice bits and pieces. But I did open up the battle pack. So a quick comparison with the battle pack minifigure. You can see that it's all different with regards to just the black versus the grey. So you can see you've got the sort of the grey print on the sleeve, grey print on the stomach, grey print on the leg. So as we pan around the minifigures for the last time, we'll come to the back of the ship and we can see the Mandalorian in there. So we can use this just for scale. And you can just see how nice he stands in there and just how good he looks. So what we'll do now is we'll compare the ship for scale. First thing we'll scale it with, as always, will be the new Indiana Jones plane and the car. So you can see how well these two scale beside this, just with regards to size, or even just with the car just beside it. You can see how big the Razor Crest is. Now I've said this in every other comparison video, this is a good scale plane and it just sits nicely with everything else. So again, if you were to have these flying around or doing whatever it is that you wanted to be doing with them, if I sit that there and spin that around to the front, you can just see, I think, just how nice that is with regards to size. You've got the wingspan, you've got everything else on the front, but it is a good looking thing. And then as we spin it around to the sides, you can just see how long this is and what size difference this is compared to the new Indiana Jones plane. So for the next thing, I'm not 100% sure how well it scales now, because I think the N1 is far too big. Everybody's been saying this for a while. I think it's a little bit too big with regards to scale. So you've just seen how big this thing is with regards to the Indiana Jones plane. But now if I put this on top of this, this is actually wider than the Razor Crest, and it is slightly longer as well. So when it is side by side, it's probably only a couple of studs longer if we were to have it the exact same way. So if it was like that, for example, it is just a couple of studs bigger. So I'm not 100% sure how this ship here is actually supposed to scale within the universe of the Star Wars stuff, because I don't know how big this compares to the X-Wing or the TIE Fighter, because that's two ships that I don't have. But I thought this does look like it is a good scale. You can get all the minifigures and everything on the inside of this one, whereas this, it is only got the two minifigures at the front and the space for the little droid at the back. But I'll let you guys and girls filming in the comments below if we think this is too big, or side by side they don't look too bad. But I don't know how big the Razor Crest is supposed to be in comparison to this anyway. But what I do think scales really well is the new Guardian ship from the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which is this thing on the left-hand side. Now, we've got to bear in mind that this one here on the left is slightly cheaper than the Razor Crest on the right-hand side, but I do think that they do look quite nice side by side. So if you are going to have some sort of crossover display, or just do something with regards to them having them dangling off the ceiling or flying around or do whatever it is you need to do, at least you can see what the photos would look like with them side by side. And obviously, if you are good at your photography, you will be able to get some really nice photos out of these, I think. So moving on to the next set, we're going to use the 2023 Avengers Quinjet. Now this is in the same price bracket as well. This thing comes with some fantastic minifigures. It comes with 5 of them. Now if we get these nose to nose, you can just see how girthy this thing is here on the right hand side, because technically it is a double decker, whereas the Quinjet is obviously just a single tier because they all do sit at the back. So if you've got either of these, at least you now know what they're going to look like on the shelf together, or if they're going to be flying around. But as a comparison and also size scale, I think they do work really nicely side by side, so you will be able to get some nice photos and get some nice angles of doing bits and pieces. And obviously another thing, both the back bits do open up, so you can have Mando jumping out the back of that one, you can have Cap jumping out the back of that one if you want to. But I think with regards to having them side by side as a display, I don't think you can go wrong with that. Moving on to the last comparison, which is the Benny's spaceship, which I think looks really nice next to the Razor Crest. The blue really pops against the grey. So again, if you've got this one, or you're thinking of getting this one, I think they do work side by side nicely. Obviously, this one is slightly longer than the Razor Crest, but again, with regards to price point, I think now that this one is now slightly more expensive than what this one is, just because this has been long discontinued. And I think that is at a second-hand price point as well. But obviously, if you can find one, it'd be worth getting, but I think it does look really nice. And again, having these flying around or getting them up on like big stands and displays, I don't think you can go wrong. And it is nice to add in a nice little bit of bright, vibrant colour into the grey itself. And obviously you've got all the fiery engines on the back of this one, and then you've got the same kind of thing on the back of the Razor Crest as well. But that is it. I am done. So if you can like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Let us know your thoughts on the minifigures, what you think of the set, and how it scales with everything else that we've seen in the video as well. And obviously, if you've got it, let me know. Or if you are still going to try and pick it up before it retires, again, let me know. But guys, as always, thank you very much for watching. You lot take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Ta-da.